Coming up tonight on YCN News, New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan issues an executive order today, a fire at a Claremont home Saturday morning, and funds are being discussed for a museum that will pay tribute to the late Ray Burton. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Erin McClory. It's not easy to talk about state money problems, but New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan is not afraid to do so. Today, she issued an executive order for all State Department leaders to shave any unnecessary spending from their budgets. Hassan's order follows approval from a bipartisan vote of the Joint Legislative Fiscal Committee. Hassan says in a statement she is hopeful that this round of cost trimming will be done in the best way possible. The goal of this budget review is to minimize harm for any residents or businesses with prudent cost cutting. A freeze on new hiring as paid for by the state's general fund also remains in effect. That freeze was put into place by Hassan in May, along with out-of-state travel and equipment purchases. After State Department executives complete department reviews, the entire state legislature will still need to approve other budget plans. Lawmakers meet again in January. No one was injured from the River Road fire at a Claremont home early Saturday morning. Fire department officials say the oil furnace didn't work properly and caught on fire at the 36 River Road two-family house. It took fire crews about 4 hours to get the blaze under control. Smoke damage is heavy. Lois Collins is the home's owner. The home is insured, the E-Ticker News reports. Several people and pets lived in the home at the time of the fire. As drivers have watched the cost of gasoline drop by pennies per gallon, it's a sure sign more people will take the road this holiday weekend. To help remind all motorists to take care of themselves and their passengers, state police on both sides of the Connecticut River will monitor traffic, especially in Vermont, where state police will follow the national Click It or Ticket campaign. Beginning Wednesday and through Saturday, state police will be out in force. Speeding, driving under the influence, and not wearing seatbelts are the leading causes of traffic accidents and deaths. Children also need to be in booster seats or height and weight appropriate restraints. Operation CARE is a part of this weekend's traffic studies. CARE stands for Combined Accident Reduction Effort. Since January 1st of this year, there have been 40 traffic fatalities, say Vermont police. Of those 40 deaths, alcohol impaired the abilities of 3 drivers, while drugs affected 5 other operators. Marijuana was the most common drug in these cases, and 30% of car, truck, or bike riders were not buckled in or wearing helmets. The good news is that gasoline prices are down from last year. The more challenging news is that road project work will continue, including southern Vermont. This does come during the next heavy travel days. Project managers of the I-91 West River Bridge project remind motorists lane restrictions will require extra travel time for Thanksgiving festivities. Traffic in southern Vermont, especially on exits 2 and 3 north and southbound, will be slow and heavy, reports the Brattleboro Reformer. On these 2 exits, 1 travel lane in either direction will be closed. A new bridge over the West River is under construction. When it's complete, which will be in spring 2016, there will be 2 lanes, each of north and southbound traffic. When YCN News returns, we'll learn about a possible museum that will be dedicated to the late Ray Burton.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Erin McClory. It's been almost a year since a longtime state politician died. Whether traveling throughout the North Country or to Concord, Ray Burton knew the people and places that made up much of the state like the back of his hand. A lifelong resident of Bath, New Hampshire, members of Burton's hometown historical society want to establish a museum in his honor. Burton worked for decades as executive counselor to the government from District 1. He also served as a Grafton County commissioner. The society has set a goal of August 13th, 2015 for the museum opening. That's Ray's birthday. To learn more about the Bath Historical Society's project, go online to bathhistoricalsociety.com or visit its Facebook page at Bath Historical Society. The northern New England countryside is just the right setting for any holiday, especially Thanksgiving. YCN News takes a look at 2 tips to make this Thursday's meal a great one.
Well, I guess the first thing would be invest in a thermometer That way you don't dry out the turkey. But also, get your prep done ahead of time. It'll save you a lot of stress on the big day and give you more time to watch football and spend time with family.
Here's hoping everyone's Thanksgiving meal is a good one. Turning to political news, a member of Vermont's congressional delegation says he will vote against one of President Barack Obama's Treasury Department nominees. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders says in a statement he is urging the president to withdraw the nomination of Antonio Weiss to be the Undersecretary of Domestic Finance in the federal department. Sanders says the Wall Street firm in which Weiss worked as an investment banker helped clients avoid paying U.S. taxes by sheltering profits overseas. That history does not make Weiss the best person to look out for average working-class citizens' best interests, says Sanders. What's needed, explains Sanders, is to have economists in government who have a track record of helping to create jobs and a strong economy, not help big companies avoid paying a fair share of taxes. We leave you today on a sweeter note. People of all ages have their favorite part of the holiday meal. That includes dessert. Let's take a look at how to make some great finishes to a festive get-together.
My name is Cindy Logan. I own and operate the Fox Stop as well as the Red Fox Inn in Bonneville. My passion for pie was born when I moved to Vermont in 1975, and I've been making pies ever since. Apple pie, of course, is the biggest, most popular flagship product that we do. But we do seasonal pies all year. We do berry pies in the summer and the pecans and the pumpkins during the holidays, but apple pie is by far the most popular. I truly believe it's the simplicity of the pie. It's just the honest to goodness, simple ingredients. We use all Vermont products in my pie. We use local Vermont flour, Vermont butter, juicy McIntosh Vermont apples, and just keeping it very super simple. That's it. Over the years, we've received a lot of recognition about the pies. Years ago, we were voted the best apple pie in Vermont by Yankee Magazine. And we've also had the honor to be invited down to Washington, D.C. for both inaugurations of President Obama, apple pie being the most patriotic dessert. We do get to Washington every spring as well for an event that Senator Leahy and his wife put on. It's by invitation. It's called A Taste of Vermont, and it's held every year in the Senate building, and the pies are always a very big hit. We actually do ship pies. My husband and I have engineered the shipping and packaging to be able to ship a fresh pie, not frozen, all over the planet. My name is Cindy Bean Logan from Ma Bean's Vermont Pie Company, and my slogan for National Pie Day is, "Pie fixes everything."
Our thanks to the people at King Arthur Flour. That pie looks great. When YCN News returns, we'll learn about the Newberry Beautification Committee's annual wreath sale.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Erin McClory. Let's join Matt McDonald for a look at weather and sports.
Thanks, Erin. Tonight we'll have mostly cloudy skies with lows around 47 degrees. Tuesday we'll have mostly sunny skies with temperatures falling to 41 degrees in the afternoon. Tuesday night we'll have increasing clouds with lows around 29 degrees. On Wednesday, rain and snow is likely. Highs will reach near 38 degrees. Wednesday night snow may continue before 4 a.m. Otherwise, skies will be mostly cloudy. You can see here the storms in the west that are expected to reach us by Wednesday. And now let's take a look at our community calendar. For tomorrow, there will be 3 select board meetings in our region. The meetings in Warner and Norwich will begin at 6 p.m., while the Windsor, Vermont meeting will begin at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Saturday in the NHIAA Division III State Championship game at the University of New Hampshire's Cowell Stadium, our Newport Tigers look to avenge its only loss of the season, a 21-20 setback from early September. An early Newport drive was terminated with an interception. But the dependable defense was up to the task, keeping Campbell from capitalizing. The first score of the game came on another Campbell interception that was returned 21 yards for a touchdown by Campbell to make it 7-0, with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first quarter. This was the end of the day for senior quarterback Tom Hogan, who aggravated a lingering back injury sustained during last week's North Conference Championship win. With 21 seconds left in the first quarter, the Cougars at the 1-yard line pounded it up the middle to make it 13-0. In the second, the workhorse Noah Wade rushed 43 yards down the left sideline after breaking a tackle to make it 13-6. Newport stayed in the game thanks to tough defense. The Tigers' Zach Whalen sacked Manning on the third down to force a punt, and Tyler Hall and Wade combined for another sack later in the second quarter. Then, Stephen Nix defended a third down pass on the next play to force another punt. It was a typical production for the Tigers' defense. The Cougars completed a 67-yard drive in the middle of the third quarter to make it 20-6, which was the final score. Newport coach Larry McElvery reflecting on the game.
And we didn't come up with enough of those big plays today. And I'm a little disappointed in that because we've always made good big plays on both sides of the ball, including special teams. And we had a couple of them today, but obviously not enough. And part of the reason is Campbell's an awfully good football team, well coached, well prepared, and we knew it was going to be a tough football game.
Congratulations to the Tigers for a great season. Tune in this weekend starting Friday at 7 p.m. for a YCN sports special looking at their drive toward the top, presented by Sugar River Savings Bank and Salt Hill Pub.
Thanks, Matt. When we return, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who spoke with Lorraine Merrill from the New Hampshire Department of Agriculture.
The YCN News continues in a moment.